Is it recording? I guess so. Okay. I will edit that out. All right. So, you guys, I have a very special guest today, and his name is Will LaMonaca. And he has a whole bunch of things he's going to share with us. But if you don't know him, you're going to know him. So, Will, introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on. My name's Will. I am Mr. Fully Booked on Instagram, and yeah, I have been in the hair industry feels like my whole life. There's a lot I could say about that, but looking forward to kind of diving into all things life and hair industry, and
Yeah.
you know,
So, tell everybody your personal experience in the industry because it's a little similar to mine, but I feel like it's important because go ahead, because it
yeah,
impacts your life. It just
yeah,
does.
yeah. Growing up, my grandmother was a hairdresser, and so I never paid for a haircut in my life until years later, but then she opened up her own salon. And then my mom actually ended up becoming a hairdresser as well. So I just have been surrounded by hairdressers my whole life. My cousin Natalie, she has always been a hairdresser and she's older than me. So I would go and get my hair cut by her as well. And then my cousin Stefan ended up owning a salon and opening up a booth rental salon downtown Denver. So it's just been like constantly all around me. Now, did I ever think that I was going to be in the hair industry? Definitely not. Uh, I also didn't think that I would ever be in marketing or sales.
Mhm.
My dad was primarily in marketing and sales. I thought I was going to be in ministry. So I thought I was going to be doing the work of the church. So I went
Mhm.
to a school of ministry. I was kind of on a fringe edge of Christianity. It was called, it's more a little more supernatural and mystical. And I went through a school called School of Supernatural Ministry, and shortly after that ended up becoming a full-time pastor, and definitely uh, went all the way down the rabbit hole of the church world until I got burnt out. And I got burnt out, but what was funny is it was the hair industry that actually saved me from burnout in ministry, because I had moved to New York and was looking for work while I was waiting to step into a pastor position, a different pastor position full time. And I'm getting more and more tired of religion. I'm getting more and more tired of a lot of things that I won't go into right now. But during that time when I was looking for work, I stumbled upon a job with Hattori Hanzo Shears of all things. And I thought, oh my God, it's like this, where the stars aligning here in some way. Like it's the hair industry and its sales. So it's like kind of like in my DNA from both angles. But I still was in my mind when I first heard about it. I was like, I needed work, but I thought, scissors? Like seriously? Like I'm getting recruited by a company to sell scissors, and I thought it was like Cutco knives or some multi-level marketing scheme. And I'm like,
Yeah.
first of all, these scissor salesmen seem like they're having way too good of a time, and that's and based on a lot of things that have happened in recent days, we know they definitely were having too good of a time. But anyway, aside from all that, when you look at it, I was like, nah, I'm not going to go and be a multi-level marketing scissor salesman. Definitely not doing that. So I turned the job down. And a couple days later, the recruiter calls me and he's like, no, you don't understand. Like, you're literally going to be selling a product to that stylists and barbers are addicted to buying. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, addicted to buying scissors? Not to
Right.
mention, these are like
Right.
nothing less than $500, all the way up to like $3,000 for a scissor. And
For
I'm like, I
real.
don't know. So I call my mom and I'm like, hey, what do you think about me selling scissors? And she goes, oh my God, I love buying scissors. I'm addicted to buying scissors. And I said, no, no, you didn't just say that.
No
The
way.
recruiter said that stylists are addicted to buying scissors. I call my mom and she goes, I'm addicted to it. I said, okay, I'm going to give it 3 months. And now,
Funny.
prior to this, I was in ministry, and it's
Mhm.
hard to get a job in anything else after you've been doing ministry for a long time, because your resume is
Mhm.
like, what do you do? Like, you're a pastor. So it's
Yeah.
hard to translate that. So sales is pretty easy to get a sales job pretty quick. And my dad was always in sales, and I had been in
Mhm.
sales all my life, even before ministry. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll give it 3 months,
Sure.
whatever, go out there.
Yeah.
Within the first 3 months, I was in the top 10 of the company and started just like, I don't know what happened, but it was like water on dry ground. And I realized I was like, oh, dang, I do have a gift for sales. I thought I was really bad at this.
Mm.
So I started to fall in love with sales, and I started to make
Mm.
a heck of a lot more than I could have ever made in ministry. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
double my income. I think I made like 40K a year as a pastor.
Okay.
Made $80,000 my second year or my first year with Hanzo.
Mm.
Um, and then from there, doubled that the following year, became one of the number one reps in the whole company. But the dedication to sales and understanding marketing was really key in all that. But what I found was also a love for the beauty industry. And I really, really enjoyed going in and out of salons and being a part of the culture. And I came up with this idea of doing a feature page in the city that I lived in New York, and just featuring all the local barbers and stylists. And you know how there's like these foodie pages
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
feel free to ask any questions too if I'm
No, I'm
talking too
I'm
much, but
totally here for this. I'm totally here for this.
cool.
You okay, you found
Yeah.
the feature page.
Yeah, so I started a feature page, and not instead of featuring all the best food in a particular city, I was just featuring all the best stylists and barbers and
Love it.
salons. And my idea was I'm going to make this page anonymous, and so, but I know that I'm going to have to cold call every salon in this city of Rochester, New York. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Trojan horse the entire hair industry in Rochester, New York through a feature page, and I'm going to become one of the most influential people in the hair industry in the city without them knowing who I am, so that when I get rejected by the front desk person at the salons, but then I mentioned that I'm also the guy who runs this page, they won't be able to stop me. And it completely worked. I ended up selling over $1 million worth of shears within like a year or 2 years. So
That
um,
is
definitely over
genius.
2 years. But like it was ridiculous just invading the whole city through a hair feature page. But the thing is, it actually provided value for everybody. When
Mm-hmm.
people would move to Rochester, they would look for the best hair, and I was posting the best. When people got featured, they considered it like an accolade, and it really did begin to like bring the whole community together. And there were events, and it was a pretty interesting thing. Now, it's funny because I'll tell you why that page doesn't exist anymore here in a minute. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, so anyway, that was where I realized, okay, I can use social media as leverage to sell things, whether in person or online. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been using social media like that ever since. Even though I don't have a huge following like on Instagram, I actually most of my business and everything that happens through Instagram. And I have a
Mm-hmm.
very significantly higher following on TikTok.
Oh my
But I
God,
would say
TikTok. What is going on with TikTok? But
I
okay.
only have like 3,000 followers on Instagram. I get way more business through there. So anyway, where am I going with all that? So social media, Hanzo, beauty industry. Since I got good with social media, I started running social media for salons on the side, just like as side gigs. I'd like,
Yeah.
after leaving Hanzo, I started to kind of do a few marketing things, and especially during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the reason the page didn't exist anymore, because Hanzo and we have a good relationship now, but I left for a hair extension company. They
Mm-hmm.
hired me to become their national sales director. Hanzo was worried that I was going to take clients from them and try to use the database to sell hair extensions.
Mm-hmm.
And I never did. That wasn't my intention. Um, but in fear of like um, them coming after my page or anything, I went and deleted the whole Instagram. And I
Oh,
thought they were going to sue me for leaving and going to a hair extension page. They weren't. Obviously, that didn't happen. And like I've worked for them multiple times over since
yeah.
then. But initially, I was like, I thought I was in trouble with Hanzo.
Oh
Uh,
no.
but they were not happy with me. Let's put it that way. They were not happy that I left. Uh, but the bridge wasn't burned. I worked for them probably 2, 3 times after that, and still have a really good relationship with the owners. So
So you've mentioned so many good points, right? And the first thing is like me, my mom is a hairdresser. We own a salon together, but I personally don't do hair. But when you are around like legit top stylists from birth, you kind of just know who to look for like you did a feature page. Like you just knew, of course, there's other data that goes into it, but you knew who was like the top in the area. And then you were
yeah,
able to create your own opportunity, your own kind of thing going on so that you can get ahead and sell, right? And of course, we know that selling is really educating people. It's not just, selling them lies. It's like for real, like this is what
Right.
you need to maintain your status. Okay. So there's
Yep.
that. Then you have the personal life part, which is your personal foundation, your convictions on, whether it's the Bible, whether it's whatever it is. And that keeps you grounded. And in this industry, it's so it could be very fast, very busy, very overwhelming. And then you mentioned that this was the same industry that kind of healed you. Whereas a lot of stylists right now, they're feeling so overwhelmed and so burnt with people. But this is what healed you to keep going. And so that was a little twist that was definitely unexpected, which is very cool.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, dang, ministry saved me from religion. Or I mean, the hair industry saved me from religion. Is really
Yeah.
that's like it's so that's when I look at that, I'm like, okay, there's something that I resonate with on the inside. That maybe it does come from the fact that I grew up around hairdressers or whatever, but it just feels like it's my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow I see my spirituality and everything. It blends in really well with the hair industry as well, and so does business. Because I
Yeah.
really fell in love with sales and marketing as well, which is my main passion.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm deeply rooted in the hair industry. My main passion is sales and marketing, but that passion was really birthed through the hair industry as well. And now I get to go on and mentor and coach and even step in as a sales director with marketing agencies and high ticket coaches and help influence their sales. And doesn't matter what industry it is in
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I can go in and step in and teach the principles of persuasion without manipulation,
Mm-hmm.
ethical sales processes that increase people's sales drastically, whether it's a salon trying to increase their product sales, or learning how to do consultation better to get more add-ons or higher price, ticket items that they actually need, that
Yeah.
not just because you want to slam somebody with stuff, but a lot of sales is not about trying to convince somebody to do something that you want them to do. It's really just about asking good questions that help people realize what they need, and then asking them questions that help them convince themselves why they need that, and then just
Mm-hmm.
really giving them the ability to buy it. So it's not really that hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of like the best salespeople are good listeners. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
and I think that's why like a lot of hairstylists are so afraid of, like, a lot of people are just afraid of the word sales or
Mm-hmm.
salesman or sales professional, or it's like, ooh, ick. You think of like a car salesman or some like dirty, like, you know sales guy trying to snag you in Target to switch your cell phone plan or something. And it's like, no, like it's not, that is not actually what sales is. But if every hairstylist could see themselves equally as a professional marketer as well as a professional
Mm-hmm.
sales man or woman, that just understanding that that's a part of your job and knowing that, like training on marketing and sales skills just as much as you train on how to do a balayage or the next hand type or
Yes.
hair extension trend, like
Yeah.
just go and like learn sales skills, learn marketing skills from people that are outside of the hair industry that are just killers in the industry, and just watch what happens.
Exactly. Thank you. That has been my experience with beauty and barber pros. Like they get so terrified of the word sale that they're like, no, 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 I don't want to do that. You know what? I'm not even going to have a retail resale sales
Yeah.
certificate, whatever it's called. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do the service. It's like, no, 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 no. You need to meet your client where they're at. They need this.
You know what it is they're being so nice by not trying to sell their clients anything.
Hmm.
And the problem is that uh, nice doesn't make you much money in life, but
Hmm.
kindness does. And what's the most kind thing for you to do is to provide the best quality products in your salon, that that not only when they get their cut or their color or their hair done by you, but they're going to walk away being able to maintain and take care of it as best as possible and style it in the way that they had you style it at the salon without using products that are going to ultimately damage their hair. So what would be really kind is if you became awesome at sales and learned how to persuade your clients to buy the products they actually need, and you'd make
Hmm.
money in the process. But if you're
Exactly.
nice and you want to eliminate retail and you don't want to be too pushy, yeah, just keep staying broke. It's all good.
Yeah, just be broke. It's fine. It's
You're
totally
good.
good.
Just if you want to be broke, stay nice. If you want to be wealthy, become kind.
I love that. Oh my God, I love that so much. Okay, so you covered kind of everything of what led you to today, right? So what are you doing now?
That's I'm doing fractional sales directorship. So I work with a company called Rev Haven,
Hmm.
which was birthed out of some of the highest end marketing agencies in the United States. The main sales director for some of the high end marketing agencies in the U.S. left and launched his own sales director, fractional sales director business.
Okay.
It's like an agency. It's like a sales
Yeah.
agency. But Rev Haven now, we basically step into any business fractionally, whether they need operations, leads,
Mm.
if they need talent, or if they need sales help, we can step in any way. So I work as a contractor with under Revenue Haven
Hmm.
for sales directorship, but I
Okay.
still do a lot of my own consulting. So like I'll consult salons and individual stylists on increasing new clients just through organic outreach and
Hmm.
you know paid ads and how to do it. I
Yeah.
found I used to run social media for salons, and I thought it's so exhausting, like trying to get all the content and the pictures and get everybody to take the pictures right and and then
Yes.
post and I'm like, I just want to teach the salons how to do this effing thing and like teach them how to do it right and get
Right.
everyone on the same page. And
Yeah.
they don't have to pay for a manager to run their social media. It can take the entire weight off the salon owner's hands to run social media as well. If you
Hmm.
get the entire team on board,
Yeah.
especially with new collaborative features, if you have 5 stylists or 6 stylists and each one is responsible for one post a week and they post that each day, you have a post a day and they collaborate with your salon and you don't have to manage your salon anymore, Paige. Just have your stylists do
Exactly.
collaborative posts. And obviously there's other strategies around collaboration, but like if I could just teach a salon now how to run Instagram correctly, I can help them get new clients rather than me trying to like run it for them. And then they also are like, oh, like, yeah, I don't have to hire somebody like thousands of dollars a month to run my Instagram. Like there's ways to make this really in-house effective and way easier than people are trying to make it out to be. So
For sure. For sure. Okay, so it sounds like the most common thing that people come to you for is the social media kind of stuff.
yeah, sales help and social
Yeah.
media
Okay.
help. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I already know the answer to this, but maybe the listeners don't. So what do you think is the most important trait or the strength that they would need to be successful in the beauty industry?
Hmm. Uh, I right away you have to think bigger.
Mm,
Like the hair industry, you can literally just there's so many things you can do.
mm-hmm,
And when you look at um like I have a friend who's literally making like 30 grand a month just doing hair extensions less than 5 days a week in Boulder, Colorado.
see, that's awesome.
Okay, so I just want people to think like, yeah, okay. Now that even 30 grand a month ultimately is not a lot of money in
Mm-hmm,
the grand scheme of things.
mm-hmm,
Wow. Okay. Your mind is being renewed when you start to see money that you used to think was a lot as not a lot of money.
mm-hmm.
And you just begin to change your mindset and begin to think bigger. And the more you can expect and dream bigger, the more your mind create and think of possibilities actually step into that. So yeah, you can 100% make 30 grand a month as a hairstylist,
You see that?
just doing hair.
I love that. There's a saying that I say to my staff and even to my own coaching clients is that new levels equals new devils. And that's exactly
Mm,
what you're talking about. Like if you get to another level, like you let your mind expand, like you're gonna get ideas. You just got to throw yourself at it pretty much, right?
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So with your experience and all these different things, what do you think has been your favorite insult that you are just so proud that you have gotten?
Favorite insult?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you my least favorite insult,
Okay. Okay, but you tell us the
but then I'll
least,
think of one.
but you got to
I
tell
want
your
to tell you,
favorite.
no, I'll tell you why. Because if I'm in the middle of like actually trying this, and it used to happen back in the day when you're like new at sales,
Yeah.
you're trying to sell something, or like I'm trying to sell a scissor, or you're trying to sell something. And when somebody says, man, you're a really good salesman, as soon as they say that, I want to go throw up in my mouth. Because if someone says you're a really good salesman, that means that you're being a horrible salesman
Yeah.
because they're feeling
Salesy.
somehow they're feeling like you're being salesy, or like you have that what we call commission breath, like the
Uh,
ick. They're getting the sales ick, and then they're
uh.
like listening to like, oh, and then they like compliment you like you're a really good salesman. And you're like, you literally just stabbed me in the heart. Because what I now know is I need to go back and think about what the hell was I doing that made me come across in such a salesy way
Right.
that I got that compliment. That's a horrible compliment. So
Okay.
that's my least favorite compliment. But insult, um,
Like it's got to be something that somebody really tried to hurt you, insult the hell out of you, right? But you just turned it and like that is your motivator now.
um, I don't know. I'll tell you what. In the early days of doing coaching and marketing,
Hmm.
I knew that if Instagram didn't block me for 24 hours to message anybody, that I wasn't doing enough work.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I got to at least get that many messages out to get blocked. And then I know my threshold. And then you're going to push the limit a little bit as your account gets more trust and builds authority or whatever. But uh,
That's a good
yeah, try to
one.
get banned. So try to get like either like insulted, like you have never reached out to somebody so much until they like, I know this sounds like, oh my God, this guy really is salesy. No,
No, no.
listen, you just gotta, if somebody doesn't give you a yes or no answer, then they're like literally they don't have boundaries, and then hey, yeah, okay. All
Yeah.
I want is a yes or no answer. Like you give me a yes or a no, I'm done pursuing or not pursuing. I just need to know. But if you just keep ghosting me and giving me the runaround, well, you're doing the worst thing you could possibly do to a salesman because they literally hate maybe. So
Yeah.
if you want to be chased, then give them a maybe. If you want to shut it down, then give them a flat out yes or no. Um, but what hairstylists don't understand, like, is you have to be tenacious like this, and
Hmm.
it's not it's not bad. You are out here trying to compete against everyone else for attention, and there's only two ways that you can get attention: is either time or money. You can either spend the time putting the blood, sweat, and tears into what it takes to get attention, whether that's through physically handing your business card out to people,
Hmm.
getting word of mouth, or putting in like thumb work on the phone and literally pounding the pavement inside of Instagram and getting clients for yourself. That's the time that you can invest. The other way is to learn how to run paid ads for yourself correctly. And you can purchase attention and
Hmm.
leverage money instead of time to get the new clients if you know how to do it correctly. Uh, but yeah, if right now you don't have the budget to put anything into ads, then go and put in that blood, sweat, and tears on the back end of Instagram and get tenacious with people that could potentially be clients. If they haven't booked with you in a while, go shoot them a DM. If you notice that they
Hmm.
canceled, shoot them a DM and say, hey, hope everything's okay. When would you like to get back on the calendar? Like,
Right.
don't be afraid to reach out to your clients and try and get them back on the books. Don't be afraid to reach out to them and get them on the books as second bookings. Or if they didn't rebook in the salon, why not DM them multiple times throughout the next coming weeks to get them to rebook and then get them
Right.
on a consistent schedule? Like you don't have to just depend on whether or not they rebook in the moment. Yes, try to get them to rebook in the salon, but then why not shoot them a DM later? Say, hey, I noticed you didn't rebook. Just wanted to make sure you don't lose your spot here in the next couple of weeks. I have Wednesday or Thursday available this time, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm giving them a couple options. I'm not asking for a yes or no. I'm just asking for which time works best.
Yeah. You see, everything you're
I'm
saying, I don't mean to do it on like a lot of the episodes on the Beauty Pro podcast. And, it, I always I hear what you're saying, and I always end up relating it to relationships because one, we're in a very intimate industry dealing with people, and they're always coming to us for some special event that deals with a major relationship, a wedding, a funeral, um, what is it, like a revenge date or whatever. Like everything you're
Yeah,
saying is like truth. Like you got to harness your boundaries and your truth and be real and raw with people. Be like, look, you didn't book your appointment. Did you like what I did or not? If you did, come on, let's do it again so I can take care of you.
exactly. Yeah, you just need that yes or no. And um, yeah, you are a sales professional. And as long as you can understand that like persuasion does
Yeah.
not mean manipulation and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be selfish, that like it's okay to be incredibly persuasive and have honey on your lips if
Mm,
the way that you're leading somebody is ultimately going to benefit them and you know it.
yeah.
If you know it's not going to benefit them and you still are doing that, then that's where like there's some phrase like I could sell ice to an Eskimo. Like you are the definition of a sleazy salesperson then because they obviously don't need that.
Right.
Um, like that's not a real exchange of value. So anyway, I could rant on sales forever
I
because I
love
just
it.
love
I love
I
it.
love you know. And then I just recently, I've been doing the Six Figure Stylist podcast, which I'm
Yeah.
excited to have you on there.
I know. I can't
And then I just
wait.
launched a new one called Money and Mystics, where I'm just trying to like interview people that are crushing it in business to help like kind of blur the line between their spiritual experience and their business life. So
That
we'll
is
see where that goes.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes. I did see both of those on your Instagram. And that was my next question, actually. So, okay, so Money and Mystics is the brand new podcast that you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And it's already launched, right? People can start listening.
Yeah. I just like today, like went out
Okay,
or last
great.
night or something. So
Okay, good. So
yeah.
go listen to that. And then when does it come out? Is it like every week or every other week?
I'm gonna do every other week.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna do like Six Figure Stylist podcast
Yeah.
every other week, and then the Money and Mystics podcast every other week.
Oh, how cool. Oh, I
Just
love
for
that.
like the money, the Six Figure Stylist one is really for me. It is very business focused.
Mm.
The Money and Mystics one is more of like a passion project, just for fun. What I'm doing. So
Oh, I love that. I love it a lot. Okay. So yeah, I'm really
thanks.
excited to be on those on I don't know which one I'm going on, but I'm going on there. So you guys have to listen to it.
Six Figure Stylist. Yeah, come
Okay,
on.
good.
Yeah, Six Figure Stylist. We'll dive in. I'm excited to ask you a bunch of questions too.
I'm so excited. Okay. So there's that. And then what do you maybe this might be redundant, but what's a common misconception that people have about what you do and your life experience or your expertise? Like what is it that people get wrong every single time?
Um, I think that yeah, I think when it comes to sales, obviously people think that you're just,
Hmm.
there's all the perceptions that people have about sales,
Yeah.
um, which ironically, in order to get good at sales, you have to own your identity as a salesperson. Like
Yeah.
you, because there is a concept of,
Hmm.
what you believe in your heart about yourself is the
Mm.
fruit that you produce in your life, whether you know consciously that you believe that about yourself or not.
Yeah.
So you might believe something about yourself that you're not even aware you believe on a subconscious level, and it's producing behavior in your life. So all behavior is produced, all behavior is a fruit that is produced by something that you believe about yourself, your core
Yes.
identity. Okay. So when you learn that, you can actually just brainwash yourself and
Hmm.
give yourself like your own little identity hacks. So how does this relate to sales? Well, when I had realized this years before, but I was like, wait, how could I apply this to sales? So I realized I had to break agreement with lies I believed
Hmm.
about sales and what it means to be a sales professional so that I could fully receive the identity of being a sales professional and what that truly means and own that for myself. Like, yes, me, I'm Will LaMonaca and I'm a sales professional. Like I own it fully. So what does that belief do? It doesn't just automatically make me a sales professional, but as I believe that I'm a sales professional at a core as my identity, it naturally began to produce behavior that
Mm-hmm.
would be that of a sales professional, like working harder, visiting more places, investing into learning skill sets by investing in sales coaches and programs and books and waking up early and planning my route. And all of a sudden, because this belief shifted, my behaviors began to shift. And within that
Mm-hmm.
following year, I went from being in the top 10 to being number one and
Yeah.
doubling my income again. And it all
Yeah.
came from an identity shift. But I had to accept the fact that I am a sales professional, even though I know everybody's going to think that means something else. But you can take that concept that I just laid out because the principle is true in any area. I am a beauty professional. I am an expert in my field. Like, what identity do you want? Plug that thing in, believe it
Mm-hmm.
before it happens,
Mm-hmm.
and watch your behaviors begin to align with that identity. It's
Yes.
not just this magical manifestation all the time. Sometimes it's just you changing a belief about yourself, which ends up changing your behaviors, which ends up changing the results you get, which ends up changing your future, which ends up getting you to where you're trying to go
Yeah.
and becoming the person that you've always wanted to be anyway by just believing you already are that person.
Would you say that in your coaching, like, because you have a program, right? You have a coaching program, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that that's like a big part of what you coach on, which is like mindset
Yeah.
shifts? Yeah.
Initially, always. Doesn't matter if I'm working with a salon on social media. I need to look at their personal identity because how they believe about themselves is going to be what's showing up on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they're also going to attract the clients.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got to work on who they are so that they can attract their ideal clients. And it's so I always go back to mindset on sales or anything and work on uprooting lies they believe and replacing it with positive or truth identity. And so that is a little bit kind of spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
But then moving into there, then I start to get into the practical because I could teach you all these practicals of Instagram and practical like technical
Exactly.
language and things on sales, but it's like if this mindset and identity stuff is still all messy, uh ultimately like either this is going to be hindered, won't work as well, or everything will backfire on you. So I just wanted, I always start with mindset
Yeah.
as as
I agree with that 100%. So that can kind of be exhausting too. Don't you think? Like the mindset work?
yeah. Yeah, well, because what I'll do is I'll lay out mindset initially. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, as I bring somebody through the process, the
Mm-hmm.
initial mindset thing, I let them know. And then as I'm coaching them on other technical things, when I notice we hit like a bump, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's one of those identity things. So I know
Mm-hmm.
mindset is like, I talk about it first, but it's woven throughout the entire process as I find
Yeah.
different limiting beliefs that are holding people back from stepping into what they're trying
Yeah.
to do when it comes to social media or sales. And I mean, sales is like, oh my God, the mindset games that you have going on as a sales professional. Um, but man, if you can conquer that as a sales
Mm-hmm.
professional, I mean, like doctor level income can't even keep up with sales professionals at their peak.
Yeah.
So it's and not only that, you have hairdressers out here that are rivaling doctor level income now too. It's like, guys, you're on the cutting edge of what we have available in technology, and AI is going to come into the industry like a storm. Get ready for
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
All these info products and coaches like us are about to be irrelevant. I'm just going to say it
I
because everybody's
refuse.
well, unfortunately, what they're going to do, I'll tell you,
Yeah,
is they're
sure.
going to go and so what they're going to do is like because it's there's no copyright against doing this right now. It's kind of crazy. You can go on YouTube and download every video of every coach in the world that's ever said anything, any program that you can buy, download all that, plug it into AI, create a Ultron AI beauty industry coach that you could just ask any question to, and it will compute with all the beauty industry professionals of all the coaches ever, and it will like compute based on that. So you can create like also like there's people that are already developing like salon owner coaching, like and like salon owner. Like imagine having your team be able to just ask the salon's AI like what a policy is on something. My girlfriend already uses AI every day, even just for like formulas. Like she'll get on there and she'll be like, "Hey, how do I you do this formula with
Shut
you know, with
up. No
Kevin
way.
Murphy?" And it'll spit out like processing time, exact mixture, like every single thing, like AI will just spit it out. And so,
No. Where is
y'all,
Elon Musk?
AI,
Where is Elon? Get
I don't
on
know.
this.
I don't even know why I'm talking about all this. I feel like I'm just rambling on this podcast,
No,
like just spit
no,
a
you
bunch
are
of random
totally
information.
not. You are totally not. This is stuff that beauty and barber pros need to know. Like this is reality. This is real and raw. And I am totally appreciative of all of this. So you feel like you're rambling, but you are totally laying it out. So with that, and I have like a new level of stress. I'm going to be fighting AI. Any case, what how are you nourishing yourself? Because we're talking a lot
Yeah.
about selling and all this stuff that nobody wants to
Yeah.
hear, but it's really educating. It's really using
Yeah.
the truth to get what you want. So how do you nourish yourself to keep going?
Um, I like, I think you have to find your own rhythm. For me,
Mm,
uh, getting up early, reading, like I'm filling my tank there.
mm.
That's that's probably the main thing. Like I know if I'm reading in the mornings, then I'm good.
What do you
Eating
read?
right,
Let's do that.
you know,
What do you read? Are you reading self-help books? Are you reading the encyclopedia? What are you
all
reading?
kinds of stuff. Yeah. Let's see what I got on my desk here. I have,
Oh, it's right
um,
there.
yeah, I got persuasion. So
Oh,
persuasion, like this is about. So Robert Cialdini is like a godfather of persuasion and influence,
okay.
marketing,
This is
everything.
cool.
Oh, yeah, this is about. It's about persuading people before persuading people. Does that make sense?
Oh,
Like,
so
so I don't know.
cool.
It's persuasion.
Yeah.
So you guys want to know? Like, I know a lot of people here listening. Do you want to know? Because I don't sell scissors anymore. But I could. Nah, never mind. There's
Go,
a
just
thing called
say
a
it.
tactic. You know, a tactic
Yes,
shown is
say
a
it.
tactic.
Okay.
What I would do is I would ask the, texturizers. Everybody's texturizer is trash. So, like nobody loves their texturizer. And I knew this. So I would be like, oh, can I see your shear? Or can I see your shears? Can I see your scissors? Didn't matter. And usually they would just grab their scissor, not their texturizing shear. And so then I
Mm,
was like, oh, do you have a texturizer? And then they wouldn't want to show me. Oftentimes, and any hairdressers listening, it's like you want to keep your old texturizer in the drawer because why? It's probably still from beauty school or you bought it at
yeah.
Sally's and it's got like some cheater print handle or something. So like or it's like an old Barber like 1906 type shit something but anyway,
Yeah.
rusted and nasty, but you're
Yeah.
like your grandfather gave it to you. You shouldn't be using that and it hurts your client's hair every single time, but you so yeah,
Yeah.
naturally when I ask, hey, can I see your texturizer? And they just say, oh, so, but when I say it, I would say, oh, how long have you had this for? And they tell me some long amount of time. So then I would set the trap. This is crazy though. So I would just go, oh, well, why do you feel like have you been wanting it? I say, have you been ever thinking? Have you ever thought about getting anything new? Like, and then they would say, well, yeah. And I say, well, why do you feel like you need anything new when you've been using this one for so long? Why not just keep using the one you got? Okay, what are they gonna do now?
Right. They're like,
They're gonna defend to me why they want to buy a new shear. And now they're telling me just because I asked a question in a certain way,
yeah.
why they actually do deserve to buy a new texturizer for themselves. And I'm like, cool. I might be able to help you. I have a few options. Wouldn't mind if I showed you. Oh yeah, boom. Okay, here's how much this one is, and then boom. Next thing you know, they're putting money down. Did I do anything other than ask a question in a certain way? All I'm doing is saying, why do you feel like you need a new shear? Why now? Why not wait? If
Right.
I said
People,
why not wait
you're
instead
asking
of
the
if me,
question.
hey, why not wait? 6 months, a year.
Yeah.
And I had a client in their chair one time say, do you even want them to buy new shears? Now I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, you should buy these shears today. And here's why. They're so amazing and they're so much better than the shears you have. Like, dude, I'm going to get kicked out of everywhere. Like, I just, all I do is say, well, why do you love the shears you got?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this and this about them. Cool. Is there anything you would change about them if you could? Oh, I wish it was a little bit longer. Oh, why? Oh, because I want this function. Okay. How long have you been wanting to get a longer shear? Oh, for a
Mm,
while. But why do you feel like you want one now? Why not just keep using the one you have? Oh, because okay, now they're convincing themselves that now is
right.
actually a time to buy this. And all I did the whole time was ask them a question all the way up to that. Um, Now that's where the power comes in with like product sales. Like people don't
Yeah.
realize if you just ask questions about the client's hair and what they
Mm-hmm.
need, and why do you feel like you want to buy products here instead of Walmart?
Yeah.
Oh, I just asked a question. Hey, why do you feel like you want to buy products here with us rather than just? I mean, you could just obviously go to the any Walmart or Target and buy products there. Why do
Mm-hmm.
you feel like buying here is so much better?
That is so perfect.
With a squinted eye, like I'm kind of confused. Why do you buy products from us rather than just going to Walmart? And then they're going to be like, oh, well, you obviously have the best quality, and I know that when you recommend something to me, it's going to be what I need. And they're sitting there spitting out of their mouth, telling you why they should buy products at your salon rather than Walmart, and you're not sitting there telling them why they should buy products there in Walmart. You're just asking them.
Exactly. Thank you. This
So
is
if
gold.
anybody wants any coaching on like, I'm telling you right now, like if I could come into a salon and just help people with that, like there's the product sales just go through the roof because all it needs is a whole team just asking right questions. And all the
Exactly.
stylists that are afraid of being pushy or salesy, it eliminates all that. Like you don't ever have to be pushy or salesy. Like I don't, nobody ever feels like they're being sold if I'm doing it right. I'm just
Mhm.
asking questions. So
Exactly. I love it. I love it. All right. So,
yeah.
speaking of coaching, so what do you have going on right now that people can be a part of? They can reach out to you. Like, what is it? How can people
Yeah.
connect?
Right now, just connecting with me on Instagram. If you want to ask any questions, you need help with anything, go ahead and shoot me a message. I'm in the process of, I'm strategizing around creating a group, uh,
Mm,
but mostly just having, if anybody does need help, I have one-off classes that I teach salons. I do, full-on coaching programs with people. It just kind of depends, and sometimes people don't need me
hmm
at all, and I would direct them elsewhere. Especially if
Sure.
they're like a bigger salon that's already producing a ton of revenue. I might direct them to some of my big coaching friends in the industry, something like Pitt
hmm
University or Rachel and Drew
Yes.
Thomas. Um, they're legitimate. There are a lot of beauty coaching programs that I've seen the back end of firsthand, and I won't mention them, but I'm telling you guys, like, there's a lot of stuff out there that is just BS,
Mm,
by people that are often not even running a salon or owning a salon or have any idea about the industry.
right.
Um, I'm never going to do a salon owner coaching program because I'm not a salon owner.
hmm
I have one lane. It's sales and marketing. So I'm just stick with that.
Yeah.
Because that's where I actually know when I teach it's going to work.
hmm
But there are programs out there that I wouldn't recommend at all. But I can definitely say that Pitt University and Rachel and Drew Thomas actually have solid content on the back end. I've seen
hmm
all of it. I've seen both of their courses from A to Z on the back end, and the coaching and the fulfillment that they offer their clients and the results that their clients get. And their testimonies are very real. So just going to say that out there. And I don't work for any of them anymore in any way. So I can just say that
Right.
with
Yeah.
in truth.
No affiliate anymore. But
No
anyway,
affiliate links.
no affiliate
No
links.
affiliate links. No say.
There's nothing there. All right. So to wrap it up, because I know we're like going quickly here. What's one question that you wish I would have asked you, and how would you have answered?
Hmm. I don't actually know. That's a good question, but I feel like you covered a lot, and I feel like it went really well. And I hope I just didn't ramble too much.
No way. No way. I loved it. I think you are probably like I mean, so far, like probably the first one to be even talking about AI in the depth that you did. And the sales too. Like, I am so excited for everybody listening and watching on the YouTube channel. Like, this was powerful. Like, I'm gonna look up this whole AI business. I'm very offended with it.
Oh, me too.
But
It
that's just
hurts,
me.
but I think
It
kind of
hurts.
like it's literally like if you owned a fax machine company and then email came out, and then now there's all these back in the day there was these consultants that would step into businesses and they would have to train everybody on how to do email. Like there were people getting paid a lot of money to go and do email consulting for like,
Oh,
like how we do coaching and consulting for people to use Instagram and social media and how to do like
yeah. Yeah.
Like now AI is this thing that's coming out. I'm like, okay, we have to be on this because what's going to be is AI is not going to replace us. We're going to replace people that are not using AI.
Oh, pow. I like that. That was good. Mm.
Yeah. The people that are going to be behind are the people not using AI. It will infiltrate and impact every single business in a way. Whereas like, even like SEO services that salons are paying thousands of dollars a month for,
Hmm.
SEO is going to be able to automate all of that and do it like a robot in a way that it's like fractions of the cost for you to be able
Yeah.
to have those things. So like there's a lot of benefits that are going to come down the line. But just like anything, there's going to be evil as well. But if we know now, it's like, okay, business cards still work, but Instagram's the new business card.
Yeah. Okay.
AI is going to be the new internet. Okay, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not just the internet. It's the new. It's not. It's like the internet is going to be like what a business card is to Instagram.
Got
So
you. I got
it
you.
is going to be
Whoa, that's
pretty big.
crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys are listening or watching, definitely check out the links to Will and the Six Figure podcast. And what was it? Money and Mystics
Yeah,
podcast?
it's at Mr. Fully Booked on Instagram, and it's Six Figure Stylist Podcast,
Yeah.
Money and Mystics. But most of you listen in the beauty industry, so just go to Mr. Fully Booked on Instagram, and you can
Yeah.
find everything there.
All of this stuff is going to be on the show notes, you guys. So definitely check it out, subscribe, listen, all the things. So, Will, thanks for coming on the Beauty Pro podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Absolutely appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, you guys, and I'll
All right.
talk to you soon.